What is going on, YouTube? Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back for another episode of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Battle Spot Live Inverse Edition. Coming into today, this is only episode 3, so our record is only 5-0, but so far, so good. And unfortunately, I've been having some issues with some DCs, disconnects. It just has not been a fun time. I've been having a hard time not only finding opponents on the inverse ladder, but the few that I have found and tried to record has just been marred with DCs, apparently on both ends, so I just can't win with that. Hopefully, we can get this recorded, though, because I would really like to finish off this session. So, yeah, we're bringing the same team. This will be the last time you get to see this team in action. Of course, we have our bulk up Gogoats, we have Choice Specs, Jolteon, Nasty Plot, Crobat, Guts, Facade, Swellow with a Flame Orb, Rock Polish, Aurorus, and physically defensive Avalugg with a Rocky Helmet. Now, this is a pretty interesting team. Of course, we do see the Avalugg because it's probably one of the best defensive Pokemon in the tier. Actually, Blissey is extremely hard to deal with as well, just because it has no weaknesses. So that's kind of an issue. I see Mega Kangaskhan again, of course. It's probably going to be Mega Gengar as well. I'm not sure which one he's going to want to bring. Probably Kangaskhan, to be honest. So I do need to bring Avalugg. It also does take care of Breloom and Bouffalant too, which is actually really cool to see too. It's great to see things like Bouffalant getting some usage. So I'm going to bring Gogoat because it does take on his team relatively well. It can beat Gengar, it can beat Blissey one-on-one, and it can beat the Breloom. So we'll bring that, we'll lead off with that, and then we'll bring Aurorus and Avalugg as well. Because I know if I don't bring Avalugg that I'm just going to get demolished by Mega Kangaskhan, so I'm going to bring it because I basically have to. And we'll see how things go here. So he's going to lead off with the Gengar. Okay. That is fair enough because that means he probably doesn't have the Kangaskhan. So I don't know if we're even going to need Avalugg. It may just be fodder. We'll have to see. I guess it depends on if he has the Bouffalant or not. But I can bulk up on this. I don't think he can kill me with 2 Shadow Balls. So, and at +1, I'm pretty sure Hornleech will just OHKO even Mega Gengar. The only thing that could possibly happen is he could get a Spadef Drop or a crit with the Shadow Ball. And crit is obviously, I guess, worst case scenario, but well, no, not really, because I can potentially Milk Drink. I mean, I'm not really sure how much it's going to do. We'll have to see, because he's going to Mega Evolve here, and he will indeed go for the Shadow Ball. Let's see how much this does to especially defensive Gogoat. That does a decent amount. A Spadef Drop would have been pretty bad there, but he does not get it, and we do get off a Bulk Up. So now if he gets the Spadef Drop, it's not as bad, because we can switch out if we need to. So, yeah, I'm just going to go for the... Should I go for Milk Drink? To get some HP? No, it doesn't make any sense. He's just going to get the Spadef Drop. I know it. He's probably going to get it this time, but I'm going for Hornleech. As he does go for the Shadow Ball again, he does indeed get the Spadef Drop this time, but like I said, that's really not going to matter too much, as Hornleech is just a straight-up OHKO, so Mega Gengar is gone. Ghost typing is pretty bad defensively in Inverse. It loses its immunities, obviously, and yes, this really isn't that good. Really is not that good at all. And yeah, when I said Blissey had no weaknesses, I apologize because it actually is weak to Ghost, because normally it's immune to it. So I don't know why I said that. Yeah, I'm sure there are going to be comments down in the comment section about that, but I did correct myself. I tried. I did what I could. I'm going to Milk Drink here since this thing doesn't have any special attacks. He does actually have the EQ though, and he does outspeed me, but that doesn't tell me a whole lot because both of us are pretty slow to begin with. I don't have any speed investment. He could have speed investment, or I don't know. Maybe he's like Scarf. Kind of did a lot of damage though. That might be Choice Band, because I am at +1 defense. It still did a butt ton, and that's not even stab. So I could Milk Drink again. There's really no reason for him to go for anything but EQ though. So, and I am losing a little bit more HP than I'm actually getting back from the looks of things. So maybe I should not just continue to Milk Drink for no reason, because that's not really getting me anywhere. Unfortunately, I cannot just Hornleech this because it does most likely have Sap Sipper. I'm assuming that's why he brought it out next. So I don't really want to give this thing a boost. I mean, it could be reckless, of course, but I don't really want to take that risk, especially when I have an Avalugg that will take absolutely no damage whatsoever from an Earthquake. And unfortunately, it's not a contact move, so we can't activate our Rocky Helmet that way. But yeah, he's just going to go for the EQ again. I'm pretty sure he's locked into that. I don't think he's Assault Vest. He's probably Banded or Scarfed. Just not sure which at this point. And I'm pretty free to just go for an Avalanche here. He's most likely going to switch as he does, so we'll get to see what his last Pokemon is here in a second. And it is going to be the Blissey. Okay, so this is probably not going to take an Avalanche too well, although I am defensive. Still did like 20-ish%. Would have liked if it would have done a little bit more than that. But it's looking like Aurorus is going to be fodder. And actually, I don't know if I can win this. With the combination of Sap Sipper Bouffalant and this, I don't know if I can break this little mini normal core that he's got going on. Because Aurorus beats the... not Aurorus. Avalugg beats the Bouffalant, but Gogoat can't touch it, and Avalugg can't really touch this Blissey. It can just heal on me all day and Toxic Stall me to death. So I don't want to leave Avalugg out on this. It's the only way I have of beating that Bouffalant, so I am going to essentially just sacrifice this Aurorus. As he actually shows off the Ice Beam. Ice Beam Blissey. And that does a lot of damage. Is this offensive? It doesn't have lefties. Is this Choice Specs? That would be so cool. That would be so cool. I'm just going to sacrifice this. At this point, Aurorus is not going to help me out. As that Hyper Voice actually did a decent chunk. This has to be offensive Blissey. That is pretty darn cool. So anything I may have said about him bringing a like standard team or whatever, I apologize, because that's pretty cool. That is definitely cool. I mean, you had a Mega Gengar and a Mega Kangaskhan, so I don't know. But still, Bouffalant and offensive Blissey, you got to give you some credit where credit is due, right? Right. Now, if he is locked into Ice Beam, he's going to switch here. I'm not sure if he's Choice Specs, but it kind of seemed like he was. He doesn't have Life Orb. I don't know what else he would be. Unless, I mean, he's not running Rest. That would not make a lot of sense. Because he has Soft Boiled. Or even Wish. But I can't just fire off a Horn Leech. What I can do is go for Rock Slide, predicting the switch into Bouffalant, and try to gauge the damage, as he is going to withdraw. This Bulk Up really doesn't save me too much. I need to be able to get some chip damage whenever possible. So I'm just going to go for the Rock Slide, and we'll see how much this does. Unfortunately, it's unboosted. And Bouffalant is pretty bulky, and it's not Stab, so that really did not do very much at all. We do get some more free lefties, which is nice, but I can't really afford to stay in here. Of course, there's the possibility that he's going to predict me to go right into Avalugg again, but I'm not going to make that play. I'm just going straight into Avalugg. So I guess I am making that play. I don't know what I'm talking about. I am talking out my rear end today, basically. As he does just make the same Earthquake play, and that does nothing. So I could recover that off, or I could just go for an Avalanche on Blissey coming in. I mean, if it's Choice Specs, then I have a solid chance at winning if I can weaken it, because it will not be able to recover. Avalanche is probably my best play. I mean, I could double switch and do this whole thing all over again, but Rock Slide is not doing nearly enough to that Bouffalant. So he is going to make the switch right back into Blissey. He does not want to take any extra damage on Bouffalant, and I don't blame him. So Avalanche is looking like it's going to KO here. The question is, do you have something that can heal? I don't know if I want to stay in Avalanche again, though, because if Blissey goes down, then Gogoat is useless. So I'm going to make the switch into Gogoat, and if he goes for Ice Beam, then I'll be in a good position here. As he is actually just going to predict that very nicely and go for the Thunder. Thunder Blissey. What is happening? Unfortunately for me, that is super effective, and even though I'm specially defensive, I really don't take that very well at all. What I do have going for me is that Thunder has 70% accuracy, so there's a solid chance that it'll miss. And I might need it to be honest. I can't believe I'm going to lose to offensive Blissey. But I mean, I can't even get mad at that. That's pretty cool. So he's actually going to switch and not risk it. Maybe predicting me to go back into Avalugg. I'm not really sure. He's going to make the switch into the Bouffalant again, though. as that does allow me to get my health back via milk drink. So I'm definitely within range of taking another Thunder. So he's going to have to hit 2 more. Ice Beam is not going to do the trick. And I'm starting to wonder if that Blissey just does not have recovery at all. He's playing it like it's choice specs, and he's actually going to pull the double switch here, expecting me to go back out into Avalugg. And I did make that play, so he's going to get that correct. But now, that's not going to be enough. He's going to have to make another prediction here, because if he goes for Ice Beam and I get a safe switch into Gogoat, he's going to have to take more damage on Bouffalant, and I don't know that he wants to do that. But at the same time, if he goes for Thunder, predicting me to go into Gogoat, I can just kill his Blissey. But I'm going to make the Gogoat play here. So we'll see what he does. I don't think he's going to go for Thunder again. I do not think so. I think he's going to make a different play. Oh, he actually does have healing, as he does show off the soft boiled. So he's not choiced. So I highly doubt he is choice specs with soft boiled. He's got to be something else. What is your item? I'm so curious what his item is. Ice Beam, Thunder, Soft Boiled, Hyper Voice? Possibly, potentially, maybe. I can bulk up here, as he actually does stay in, so he's going to try to Thunder me here. I can definitely take that unless he crits me. If he gets the para... Oh, he doesn't get the para because he doesn't even connect. And I get more Lefty's recovery, almost back up to full HP as well. That is really unfortunate, but you are playing with fire when you're using Thunder. It's just like using Focus Blast. You're bound to miss. So, I kind of want to bulk up again. I'm very, very tempted to. But if he does hit me and then get the para and hits another one after that, I'm kind of screwed. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be a 2-hit KO, even with lefties. Huh. Maybe it's like Expert Belt Blissey or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. What play do I want to make? Do I really think he's going to go out into Bouffalant here? I don't know. It's so risky going for Horn Leech. I could go for Rock Slide for damage and see how much that does. But I feel like another bulk up could really help me. But again, I don't want that para. So, you know what? I'm going to make the safer play and go for the Rock Slide. As I do connect on that, that does a solid chunk. And he's going to flinch. And not only does he miss the Thunder, but he flinches the turn after because of the Rock Slide. So the Hax Gods are smiling down upon this Gogoat right now. Gogoat is forever in the debt of Roman the Hax God from now on. So I'm going to say that he's not going to switch here. I'm going to predict him to not switch, go for the Horn Leech, and it turns out that he actually leaves his Blissey in, and that's going to be dead. As we do get off the Horn Leech, Blissey is gone, and that is going to pretty much be the battle because he is not going to be able to take out Avalugg with Bouffalant, even if he does get help via critical hits. It's just not going to happen. And he can't kill me in one hit anyway, so I'd be able to get damage off with Rock Slide. So it's pretty much over at that point. Yeah, I figured that he knew that I wasn't going to go for Horn Leech, or he figured I wouldn't because I hadn't gone for it, knowing that he had a Bouffalant to switch in, and he just kept switching the Bouffalant in over and over again. So another Rock Slide was not going to kill there, and I think he knew that, and he was probably going to go for the Soft Boiled, or potentially try to get the para, I don't know. But I just had that feeling deep down in my gut that he was not going to switch out there. So anyway, we're looking for another battle now, and I did just cut it out there because, unfortunately, it took forever, and I had to go back in and try it again and all that stuff. So not much I can do about that, but the inverse, the inverse ladder is kind of underpopulated at the moment, I guess you could say. But it's also nighttime, so there's that. So this is a pretty... I don't know what to think about this team. I see the Mega Kangaskhan again. I see Talonflame. Porygon 2 is so annoying. Is so ridiculously annoying in inverse. All of the ones that I've seen so far are all Toxic Stall. Like, they just click Toxic and then recover until you die, basically. And if you don't have knockoff to get rid of its Eviolite and or a boosting move of some sort, you just lose, basically. So that could be a problem because I don't know if I have much that can break through that. I have, well, Crobat. Crobat resists Thunderbolt and Ice Beam, so he'd have to try to get like a status on me with like Tri-Attack or something. but I can very likely get up to like +4 potentially, especially if he doesn't have Thunder Wave, which a lot of them don't. They tend to just run Toxic instead. Toxic, Recover, and then like either Ice Beam or Thunderbolt, and then Tri Attack. So I'm going to bring Crobat. I'm going to lead off with it. I have to bring Avalugg because of Talonflame and Azumarill and Kangaskhan. So that's that. And then I'll bring Aurorus as well. If he brings Cresselia, I think I just lose. Depending. I mean, if it's physically defensive, I might be able to set up on it with Crobat. I'm probably going to have to sacrifice Crobat in order to do that, just to be able to get enough boost to break through it, because he's probably going to T-Wave me. And this is taking a long time to load. What is happening? This is taking a really long time to load. Oh my goodness. Thought it was going to DC again there. I've been having so many issues with that. But thankfully, we're going to get this battle in, it looks like, as out comes the Cresselia in a Master Ball. Okay, I was really hoping he wasn't going to bring the Cresselia because I have nothing for it. But there's not really much I can do. I think I have to just Nasty Plot. Now, a lot of times, I mean, in normal singles, they like to run Moonblast as their only attacking move, which would be super effective on Crobat in Inverse, but I don't know what they carry. So, oh, he has Energy Ball. Energy Ball Cresselia? Did I really just lose because of that? I think I may have. Oh my goodness. Okay. I did not see that coming. Maybe I should have, because Grass is such a great offensive typing in Inverse, but I just didn't. I just did not see that coming at all. So I'm going to go into Aurorus now, because this thing is likely physically defensive, or maybe even offensive, because it does carry the Energy Ball. Oh, and he has Ice Beam. What is this Cresselia? Ice Beam and Energy Ball. I'm guessing he just really knows what he's doing in Inverse, because he has, well, I don't know. Ice Beam is not the best coverage, though. It's only good for one type in Inverse, so maybe he doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. All I know is I'm probably going to lose this battle because I lost Crobat so early. But I never would have guessed that Cresselia would be running Energy Ball. We did get some damage off on it, so that's nice. And because he has all those attacking moves, he might not have a recovery move in like Moonlight. And again, somebody's switching Kangaskhan out onto Aurorus. I don't understand why people do that. That's the second or third time. I don't know if they were all in recording. One of them may have been. But like, people just, every time Aurorus is out, they switch out into Kangaskhan. And Hyper Voice does a solid 75 or 80% switching in. So I don't know why. Why would you want to take all that damage on your Kangaskhan? Especially because now I can just go into Avalugg. Of course, there was no way for him to know that I had Avalugg. But still, you're just unnecessarily taking all that damage. And thankfully, he goes for Fake Out, which would have been super effective on Aurorus. But he basically just sacrifices his Kangaskhan to do almost no damage to Avalugg whatsoever. He's just going to die to the Rocky Helmet. And yeah, that's basically what Avalugg's job is. It just removes Mega Kangaskhan as a threat altogether. Now, he can just go for Ice Beam, and there's really nothing I can do about it, so I'm going to have to stay in and go for the Avalanche for damage. And we actually can take that because it's not Stab, and Cresselia's offenses are pretty bad. But at least we get some extra damage off. If he does have the Moonlight, he's going to go for it here. I really have no way to break this Cresselia. I really do not. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be our first loss of the series. And there's really not much I can do, like I said. He is just going to go for Ice Beam again. Going to get a critical hit this time. Of course, that was completely meaningless. Avalugg was not taking another one of those. And unfortunately for us, he's getting more lefties, which means he is going to be able to get at least one hit off. Maybe he doesn't have Moonlight. He hasn't gone for it. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. I do not know. I mean, props for using offensive Cresselia, I guess. And even if it is offensive, with lefties, it's still a fat sack of potatoes. So I'm going to go for a Hyper Voice here, and he is going to barely survive that. He's going to get an Ice Beam off, and this is not going to kill. Unfortunately, he does get a critical hit, and that still doesn't take us out somehow. Brings us all the way down to 7. That may have been like a crit low roll. I feel like a critical hit should have taken me out, judging by how much the last Ice Beam did. But I'm just going to go for the Hyper Voice here. I don't think it's going to matter in the grand scheme of things. The only way it matters is if his last Pokemon is a Azumarill, because now Aqua Jet will take me out. And Aurorus resists Aqua Jet, So without that crit, we could have gotten off a Hyper Voice. And it is a Zoomer. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I really had a chance to win. So it wasn't even the Energy Ball that did me in. It was the critical hit. Because now the Aqua Jet was going to take out Aurorus. So we're going to lose. That's really unfortunate. Because there's no way Aqua Jet was going to do enough. And I am running max speed. Or close to max speed. Am I? I'm running a decent amount of speed. Not close to max speed. I'm running a decent amount of speed. Because I am rock polished. So there's no reason to be running almost max speed. But you get the picture. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's going to be a loss for us. And that's going to bring our record to 6-1 on the series. And I'm going to do one more because even though that was about 20 minutes in length, I really don't want to end this episode on that because that was a frustrating battle. So we're going to look for another one. And thankfully we find one relatively quickly against somebody from Japan. And this is standard.jpg for inverse teams. Superior, Kangaskhan, and Gengar, which we've seen constantly. So many Gengars. And then we have Greninja. Glalie. Glalie is actually very, very good in inverse. It has a lot of resistances. It's quite hard to take down. And then we have the Dragonite, of course. Dragonite isn't too much of a problem unless it's running Ice Punch. Does Dragonite get Ice Punch? I know it gets Fire and Thunder Punch. Maybe it doesn't get Ice Punch. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but we might find out. We might find out. Even still, I don't know that it would run it in an inverse meta. Just because of Ice being bad coverage. I feel like I've said that 100 times. But we're going to lead off with Jolteon here. And I really want to bring the Jolteon because it essentially removes Superior as a threat. Although if it comes in when I have something else on the field, I might have to sack something. But it outspeeds it, and it can usually OHKO with Thunderbolt. Even Volt Switch will kill it a lot of the times. So I'm going to bring Avalugg because I have to. Because otherwise, Kangaskhan will completely destroy my entire team. And I'm going to bring Crobat as well. Because if I don't bring Crobat, I'm going to need to bring Gogoat, I guess, to deal with Gengar. Actually, that may have been a better choice, because that would have helped with Glalie. Although Crobat also can beat Glalie one-on-one because it does resist Ice. And, yeah, plus if we get up to +2, Sludge Bomb will probably do a lot of damage. So, anyway, I don't know, we're just going to make the best of it. I think Gogoat may have been a better choice there, but it's too late now, as he is going to lead off with the Greninja. And this is like one of the few things on his team, if not one of the only things, that I cannot hit super effectively, because I have HP Grass, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, and Signal Beam, all of which are resisted by Greninja when it's Water Dark. It's not good. That is not good. I am still Specs, though, so it might still do about half if I Volt Switch. And if I really think I can take a hit, I can probably just T-Bolt here and 2-hit KO him regardless. I don't really want to get smacked in the face with a Hydro Pump, though, because that would hurt. I just don't know what I would switch into. I think I'm going to go for T-Bolt. I should be able to take one hit from this. So, fire off the T-Bolt. And that is going to be a 2-hit KO, as he actually goes for the Toxic Spikes. I have a Crobat. I'm not sure what that was for. One of my team is really hampered. I guess Gogoat. And Gogoat does put in quite a bit of work against his team, so I can understand that, I guess. Crobat would be one of the only things that isn't affected by it, so... I mean, I guess, and Swallow, too. But either way, we're just going to get rid of this Greninja. So the fact that he went for Toxic Spikes is actually great for me. Because, yeah, we just get rid of Greninja without having to take any damage. And now he's going to go into Gengar. Signal Beam would have been great for this, but I can still get damage off with the Thunderbolt. I will outspeed this turn for sure. And the following turn, because this is not going to OHKO unless we get a crit. The following turn, oh, he's going to Protect, actually. Okay, what is with all these Mega Gengars carrying Protect? Is that a thing now? Or do they just do that on Inverse? Like, I don't know if I've ever seen it on a Mega Gengar until just now. Or not just now, but since I started recording Inverse battles. But anyway, this is a speed tie. We lost the first one, and that did like 80%. And we're going to win the second speed tie, get off another Thunderbolt. So Mega Gengar is gone, and Jolteon is just having his way with this team right now, getting rid of Greninja and Mega Gengar. So my opponent's in a bad spot now, and his last Pokemon is going to be Superior, so we just witnessed an Ohm sweep, so to speak. Or not even so to speak, it is a sweep. And he's not going to let me have the satisfaction of taking out the Superior, as he is going to forfeit there. So we get to end on a win at least. So I think that's acceptable after losing to Energy Ball Cresselia. But anyway, that's going to bring our record to, let's see, 7-1 on the series. Next time we will be bringing a brand new team. So that is going to be a lot of fun, of course. I don't know, I might keep Avalugg just because I didn't use it a whole lot. And I really enjoy using Avalugg. Just in general, I like using it. So the fact that it's quite good on Inverse makes me kind of happy. But everybody else put in a lot of work. I think everybody on the team got a kill throughout this session, which is something that doesn't always happen. So with that being said, though, that's going to be it for this time. Hope you guys enjoyed this session/video. If you did, please make sure you're leaving a like, rating, or a comment, or whatever you would like to do, and I will see you all next time. And until then, game on.